What's up, lords and ladies? Welcome back to another video on this channel. So in today's video, like requested by many of you, you guys suggested for me to do bearded dragons versus leopard geckos. Now, I'm just gonna assume that there's a few of you out there who are shopping around for a leopard gecko and want to know the difference between a leopard gecko and a bearded dragon. Now, and if you own both, or if you own one of the two, let me know in the comment sections down below what you guys think is the main difference between the two, because there is some similarities, but there is a huge difference when it comes to the two lizards. So with that being said, let's just get started with this video. Let's go. Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, bearded dragons. So as many of you guys know, I work with different kinds of reptiles, and even though bearded dragons tend to be, they have a sweet spot, in me, but when it comes to bearded dragons, the one thing that is very, very common mistake that a lot of keepers do is the husbandry. So the heating, the lighting, the temperature, the time when it turns on and when it turns off, it's not always on point with some keepers, and there's a huge difference once they realize that that's what is going on with their enclosure and their setup, and they automatically get on a better schedule. They see a huge difference in their reptile's health. Now, if you're planning on getting a bearded dragon, I've done countless amount of videos on how to take care of a bearded dragon, so this isn't so much a video on how to take care of them. This is more of a comparison of the two. But the one thing I've noticed of the bearded dragon is, of course, the bearded dragon is much bigger. As you can see, that is my hand, compared to a bearded dragon. So you can more or less tell, okay, but maybe not all you guys have a hand like mine. This right here is a cactus next to a bearded dragon. So you can more or less see that it's a pretty big, lizard. Well, I wouldn't say big lizard, but it's definitely up there when it comes to certain lizards and certain animals that most of us want to keep. Some of us don't want to keep huge monitors and huge lizards. Something like this is almost a perfect size. Now, bearded dragons, they do come from a very desert hot area, in Australia. Even though most of these, I would say all of these, are captive bred, here or wherever you are, chances are, I'm gonna say 100% sure your bearded dragon is captive bred. There's no point of importing them, from the wild. But with that being said, my point here is that these guys come from a very warm, hot, deserty area, very similar to a leopard gecko. However, bearded dragons have a little bit more need for a hotter basking area. These guys do come out in the day to bask in the nice warm heat. As you can see right here, it's nice and warm, and she's just chilling there. Where leopard geckos, they do not come out during the day. They are nocturnal. So there's so many different comparisons of the two, but there's also so much similarities. Something that's very similar to a bearded dragon compared to a leopard gecko is more or less their diet. When it comes to insects, they could eat almost very similar insects. Of course, the portions and the size of the insect also matters, but they do eat all different variety of insects, and it's important that you give them different things. But where the difference between the diet of the two is that bearded dragons, once they reach a mature age of almost a year, I would say a year and a half, you do want to give them more of a plant-based diet. So I guess vegan or vegetarian diet. You want to focus on the salads that they're consuming, and as well as all the nutrients that comes and the hydration of the salad, where a leopard gecko is not going to eat a salad. Let me tell you that, trust me. I don't even know. Honestly, leopard geckos don't, eat salads whatsoever. So there is a difference there when it comes to a bearded dragon and a leopard gecko. Now, this happens to be my leopard gecko over here. I don't really show her much in my videos. She is a super old leopard gecko. She was actually one of my first leopard geckos. If you're wondering if Lord of the Lion has a tattoo, no, I don't. Oh my goodness. Someone decided to draw on my hand and say, hey, this looks cool, but no, this does not. What is this? It's supposed to be a dragon, but it doesn't even look like one. But this right here is my leopard gecko. I'm currently just showing her inside of this enclosure because the light here is a lot better than in her enclosure. As leopard geckos, they don't require light at all. You know, you could give them some sort of small heat lamp if you really want to, you know, make sure that your bearded dragon's ambient temperature is staying roughly about the same, but they don't require any UVB or any heating element when it comes to above, as these guys tend to hide underneath, you know, hides. In the wild, they'll be in crevices as well as in little tiny caves and tunnels that either they dig out or other creatures dig out, and they just basically steal it. But these guys do also come from a very warm tropical very warm deserty area. But these guys are just an amazing creature when it comes to you know, anyone out there who's looking either for a first pet or another pet. The one downfall that I noticed, and the one thing I hear from other gecko keepers, is that these guys tend to be sometimes a picky eater. So you know, the best way that you could tell, as this like beetle just lands on my hand, that's weird, but the way that you could tell a gecko's health is based off her tail. Now, her tail did fall off years ago, but as you can see, it's still nice and fat. It's grown back. This is where they store a lot of their fat, so when they eat, instead of storing it, you know, on their belly or on their neck like double chins, they basically store it on their tail. So if a leopard gecko's tail is super thin, or even a little bit thinner than this, chances are the leopard gecko, you know, has not been eating and is, you know, probably not a good weight. So this girl does need to eat a little bit more, but she is one of those picky eaters. She has her moments where she would eat a lot, and then she'll have her moments that she doesn't. So that's the one thing that I've noticed between the two, is that bearded dragons, honestly, as long as their health is in check and everything is going smoothly, they will eat no matter what. Now, she is also going to go into shed, reason why she probably, you know, stopped eating for a bit, so I shouldn't be handling her too much, but I did want to show her just for this video and share with you guys some differences between the two. There is, you know, very similarities, but I don't want, you know, my viewers or anyone out there who's planning on getting a reptile, whether it being a leopard gecko or a bearded dragon, to automatically think, oh, because they are considered beginner reptiles or easy to take care of, let me just get all of them and let me just stock up my room with bearded dragons and leopard geckos, because they do require a lot of attention. Leopard geckos, I find them being a little bit more easier when it comes to maintenance. They require a little bit of attention to detail, but unlike a bearded dragon, you know, leopard geckos come out at night, so most of your feeding and most of your interactions will be at night with these guys. Best thing to do is just let them sleep during the day, leave them in a hide, leave them alone, and they will be fine. Because she's going into shed, she is going to need a little bit more humidity, so she does have a humid hide inside of her enclosure that allows her to basically shed properly, where a bearded dragon is just going to shed automatically and doesn't care. And look, she can lick her eyes. A bearded dragon can't lick anything but just the food. So she's right now just kind of chilling in this area where it's nice and warm. You know, for me, I like them both, right? I really do like leopard geckos. I really do like bearded dragons. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think, what you guys prefer, because there's a lot of, you know, new keepers, I guess, coming into this hobby that are looking into getting one of the two. Just wanted to make a quick video, throw in my 2 cents and my opinion when it comes to keeping a leopard gecko or a bearded dragon. Personally, I would go with, you know, first the bearded dragon, get used to the reptile and everything, then I'll go with the leopard gecko, mostly because of the feeding. You know, if it wasn't for the food problem, because, you know, as new keepers, you know, sometimes you might get a little bit afraid that the bearded dragon or the reptile you just got isn't eating. And I noticed that majority of leopard geckos, even though they do fine and they're beautiful animals, sometimes you get that one that's very picky, especially if you want, you know, to handle it very often. Leopard geckos don't really like being handled as much compared to a bearded dragon. You kind of just let them be. I mean, you could, you know, there is some that will allow you to handle them and interact with them, but because they're nocturnal, you know, chances are you're not going to stay up and try to handle them. So if you do want to handle them during the day, they might be a little bit more grumpy. They won't bite, but they just won't want to be handled as much. As you can see, she's just trying to walk away, where if my bearded dragons were here, they would just stand there like a statue while I made this video. So, you know, they're both beautiful creatures. Honestly, if you could get both, get both. But in my opinion, I find that bearded dragons are a little bit more you know, you could interact with them during the day and everything. But hey, maybe that's something that you're not ready to take care of, something that's more of a higher maintenance. You know, leopard geckos, even though they do require their attention to detail, you know, they're very straightforward. Once you get their setup going, they're pretty straightforward. They come out at night to eat, to hunt. You know, it's really cool to watch. It's really cool to see. So let me know in the comment section down below if you guys would like to see me, you know, do a leopard gecko enclosure setup update type of thing, and just share with you her enclosure. It's pretty straightforward. You know, I have a hide in there, but hey, a lot of you guys are still looking for ideas and everything, and I thought I would put a video out. Definitely stay tuned for the next video. Hopefully things go to plan. I have something big coming. I mean, this thing is gonna go, I swear it's gonna go viral. So all my hardcore fans who are watching this video, because you know, there's that core audience that always watches, and there's the people that just subscribe for no reason, but I see you guys. You guys are my core fan. The ones who made it this far in the video, right? You guys are the best. Honestly, is the reason why I continue making these videos, for you guys. So everyone who's watching it and made it this far, put a lizard in the comment section down below, and I will heart your comment. I'll talk to you. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll follow you back. That's what I'm doing, man. So go head over to my Instagram, be like, and send me a lizard. Send me a lizard emoji on Instagram, and I'll know that you made it this far and you're the real one, and then I'll follow you back. I'll follow you back, because honestly, it's because of you. This video turned into a rant. But yeah, there's a few comparisons. I went completely off track, but there is a few comparisons. And I thought I'll put together this short video, or this just toss my 2 cents out there. I'll make a better video, maybe addressing all the lizards that I have, all the geckos, you know, and just make a giant video and possibly just talk about them. That way you guys could get more information and more about them. But hey, you know, I just wanted to make this video because look at this. Look at this little gecko. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe if you haven't, and if you made it this far, you're the real one. You're the reason why I make these videos, you know, even though sometimes, you know, these guys don't want to behave, but hey, we're still here. So subscribe if you haven't, hit that notification bell button, like the video. I'm Lord of Lion, keep the blood pumping, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Here we go. Peace.
You gotta hit that notification, hit that notification, hit that notification button, baby. You gotta hit that notification, hit that notification.